Thinking about talking on how to end this war in Ethiopia between Tigray. The war initially started with the Tigray region of Ethiopia, and then spread all over when every ethnic groups fighting for their own interest, for their own local interest, and over some hysterical injustice that they feel they need to fight for. It doesn't look like, I don't think with the way the government, if the government continued to do exactly as they were doing, the same way they dealing with this war, it's not gonna end anytime soon. It could go on for 10 years, 20 years, because some of these groups, remember, in Ethiopia there are too many military groups, each of them fighting each other. They also fight in the government. So the war can last for 20, 30 years. And I think the government should get rid of the need for people to feel that like they need to sacrifice their life to defend who they are. Because some of the people feel that they have to fight this war, that they have to go out and commit suicide because they feel like their whole existence is in jeopardy. Like they fight in extensions, like if they don't fight, they're gonna lose everything. And I think the government should go out and teach people how to be neutral, in a politics, instead of taking everything personal. The government should teach people to stay neutral. It's like a soccer game. In politics, people should not never sacrifice their life over political issues. Everybody in the country, including the government, should be looking out for the betterment of their society. Whatever makes the lives of those people in Ethiopia better, that should be the goal for everybody, including the public. It should not be revolved around a ethnic. It should not be Oromo issue. It should not be Tigray issue. It should not be Amhara issue. It should not be Amhara issue. It should not be ethnic based. When it comes to elections, when it comes to vote, when it comes to the rights of people to fight for their rights, if there is a protest going on in public, for example, it should be a matter of law that if somebody go out and burn down a house, or machete somebody, cut somebody's head off, it should not be a matter of ethnic issue. It should be a matter of law. It should say, if you do this, and then the consequence for that would be this. It should be outlined, and people should be held responsible. The government should hold them responsible without fear or favors, without favor or fear. If somebody go outside and burn the houses of anyone, let's say Tigray people, we're just gonna an example because Tigray are known in this part of the region. They've been in power for over 30 years now. If a Tigray person go out and burn someone's house, that person should be hunted down and be held responsible for this little crime. You know, when somebody is committing crimes, it creates tension in the community. So the government should have a very clear message to the public that if you commit a crime, whether you're oromo going and killing the Tigray people, or you're Amhara and killing oromo people, or you're Tigray killing you know, your own people, it doesn't matter. The law should be consciously clear. If you commit a crime, there is a heavy price attached to that, that you will not be, nothing will save you from facing life imprisonment or from getting killed. The government have to take seriously that when people, like right now, I just talked to somebody in Ethiopia over the phone, and local businesses, there are people that own businesses, for example, okay, they own businesses, grocery store, gas stations, and you know, this little community business. And because of who they are, not that they did anything to the public or to anybody, but because of who they are as an ethnic groups, the Somalis, they went out, they burned down their businesses, and they killed a couple of their family members that were trying to defend the lives of their family members and the businesses, and they killed those people, right? They killed those people, burned down the businesses, and not only burned down, but before they burned it down, they actually looted or stole a lot of things from them. The people who commit this kind of crime should have no safe haven. They should have no place. People who commit these kind of crimes, they should not have safe havens, you know. And so if the government make it clear that crime don't pay in Ethiopia, like for example, if you go to this Asian country, that if you get caught with drugs, for example, automatically everybody knows that you're gonna get life in prison. It doesn't matter how little it is or how big it is. Drugs, they catch you with drugs, whether you're coming into the country or you're going out of the country at the airport or in the local communities, whether you're selling or buying drugs, you're gonna go down for 30-40 years, you know. And then locking these people up, you would say, okay, if you're gonna lock people up over these things, then there may not be enough place to put them. There's just too many crazy criminal people. Well, make a business out of it, like what they do in the United States. United States have over 3 million people in prison. And as a person who went to prison myself, you know what they do? They make money off of these people like a horse. You know, you have a horse, right? What do you do with the horse? You ride them for transportation, right? Of course, you have to feed them because they are such huge animals, and you have to take care of them, look after them, make sure they're healthy, and it costs you money. But because you can use them for transportation and for farming, for example, some of the people they use the horses for farming. You know, in some countries they use cows for farming, or in an advanced society like the United States, nowadays they actually don't use they use machine. to farm, you know, to grow corns or to grow vegetables and whatnot. But in other countries, they use horses. What I'm saying is, in this prison, what they do in the United States, when somebody goes to prison, they're doing more than 3 years or 2 years, they have a contract with the local companies, big companies, right? These companies will pay the government to hire these workers, to these people from prison. The prisoner, the people who are sent to prison will be rented out to the manufacturing companies and to do the work. And the security is also provided by the jail, by the government, to make sure these people don't run away. The manufacturer is designed in such a way that it's not possible for people to run away. It's basically, manufacture is an extension of a prison system. They are designed in such a way where you cannot climb over the wall. There's electric shocks and wires to make sure that it's not possible for you to climb over the wall. It's not possible to escape anyway. So you use these people to generate revenue for the country. So when there's a huge population of people committing crimes, this is actually benefit the country. You rent out the people that are in prison for labor force manufacturer of the company or of the country, the manufacturer of the country. They can use these people. And I'm saying that's one of the ways you can send messages to lower the crimes, to lower the tensions between the groups, these groups, Amhara people, the Somalis, and then when it comes to Tigray people, as you know, they've been in power for a long time, and like every other government that have ever been in power, there are people who feel and truly have been dealing with the Tigray people committing crimes, genocide against them, killing people, just like what is happening to the Tigray people right now. And it's only happening for a couple of months, but imagine Tigray people have been doing the same thing, killing people for the last 30 years, because they are in control of the country. They are robbing the country, killing whoever they want, just basically being a gangster of the country for the last 30 years. The same thing happened before them, before they come to power. 1960s and 70s, the same crazy, some different groups, but the treatment of the public, the way the people are treated, the massacre, the killing, the imprisonment, and the elections, these fake elections, for example. The elections are not real, they're fake. And the prime minister before this one, before Abiy, is Mallas Zenawi. The same guy, he won elections 99% of the time, every year for 20-30 years. That tells you. And also, if there is any uprising or grievances or protests, he kills anyone who is standing in his way. And the elections, if you don't vote for him, there are people that local communities hire to spy on each other, to make sure you vote for the right people. If you don't vote for the right people, your house will get burned down, your business will get burned down, you will get killed, you will be living in fear for the rest of your existence. So either you vote for the government or you don't vote. Because people care for their life, people care for their families, people care for existing. They're not gonna risk their life, their families, their kids, their children for some fucking elections, right? They stay home, they put their hand up and say, okay, whatever, you go vote for whatever you want. It doesn't fucking matter whether we have election or not. Nothing is gonna change for the regular people in this country. It doesn't matter who wins, it doesn't matter who loses. The general people, the general public, the poor people, Doesn't matter. Nothing. The change that comes from the person, individual people, making things happen for themselves. The government are there to collect your tax money every year, and when it comes to elections, they have to create tension between the community. They have to create enemies against each other, against each groups, to make sure that they create a fear. Each group have to afraid of each other, and then I say, you know what, I'm gonna save all of you, vote for me, and then if you don't, then the whole existence will be in question, right? So the problem for the Tigray people, Ethiopia government, the problem that they have, Tigray people are not fighting to win a war. Tigray people are not fighting to win a war, to take over the government, to control the government of Ethiopia. Right now they are fighting for their existence. Imagine if the government right now say, you know what, we're going to sign peace agreement, and we're gonna end the war between Tigray region and Ethiopia, and we're gonna go back to the way we live in before. It doesn't fucking matter. For the Tigray people, at least they have exclusive, they have to have some kind of border between Ethiopia, between the Amhara regions, and cut everybody off from coming into the Tigray region. They're not gonna be at peace. Never gonna be at peace. Imagine you've been running around, gangster, killing everybody and anyone and their mama for the last 30 years. Now everybody is looking for you. You're not empowered anymore. And all of your gangsters, they move into this part of the regions. Everybody remember what you did to their mom, what you did to their country, what you did to their houses, their property, how the burning, the tortures, how you killed their brothers, their sisters, their brothers, their mom, their fathers. They remember. They remember the cries. They remember the echoing suffering that their society and their family went through. It's not a long time ago. It's just one generation. Everybody knows. And the other thing, and so if that would be the memory of the Tigray people, and they are fighting for their existence, because even if the war is over, the government signed the peace agreement with the Tigray, they will continue to have a problem, because everybody is gonna go over there, try to kill them, Tigray, going to the Tigray region. They're gonna make sure to go there and to have some kind of a payback. The Amhara will try to terminate Tigray people. The Oromo will try to terminate Tigray people. The Eritrea will try to get rid of the Tigray people. Being a Tigray in Ethiopia would be like being a neo-Nazi, like being a terrorist in Ethiopia. To avoid all this, the government, what they have to do is to guarantee protections for the entire population of Ethiopia without fear or favor. They have to have very heavy-handed, say, this old politics that you guys have been fighting over, it's over. We're not gonna fight over ethnicities. We don't care what your ethnicity is. We are one. We are human being. And if you commit a crime against one group or the other, or commit a crime against each other, you're gonna pay heavy price. So the Tigray have to have that kind of guarantee. Okay. Also, the government have to get rid of the tribal issues. You cannot rely on have any confidence in a tribal driven society. You cannot say have a military or the police of each region. The region. Let's say if you have Amhara police, just like what they have They used to have the Somali police in the Somali region. And everybody knows what they did. If you Google Somali police for the Somali region of Ethiopia, Somalis, they're not known for having a good morals. Somalis, they have been chaos, and it's like a COVID-19 of a people. They're not known for having a good moral compass. They live like a wild animals. So the police, they go after their own people based on tribe and start killing people in very large numbers. If anybody with the $20 can give the police $10 and they go kill the entire city and without any consequence. To get rid of this, you have to make it also prosecute the police officer who commit crimes against people. Put some kind of mechanism in place to make sure that the regional police are mixed of race of people. If you have Ethiopia, let's say you have police officers that are in Oromo region, they have to be from mixture group race of people: Somalis, Oromo, Amhara, Tigray, Amhara. They cannot just be one group and looking out for their group and attacking and getting rid of, robbing and killing and looting other people's property. And also there have to be some kind of oversight by the regional federal government police. Also the Ethiopian federal government, also the police have to be partial. They cannot be taking sides based on race of people. And this idea also have to be taught to the public in general. You cannot be the idea of ethnic being given favor because you are from this ethnic groups, or you are from this ethnic groups. You Oromo, you Tigray, you are Eritrea, you Somali. It doesn't matter who you are. You're a human being. If you commit a crime, if you go and rob somebody, if you take what doesn't belong to you, you're gonna pay. That's a crime. So that have to be. People cannot be massacring each other, committing genocide, and run away to one group and be safe, because that's what's happening right now. Every groups in Ethiopia, they're committing genocide. The government is committing genocide because the government also, they are hiring these police officers that they have going around fighting are regional and ethnic groups like Amhara, where the ethnic groups they're going after Oromo, they're going hysterical injustice, that they have grievances in between each other for hundreds of years. You cannot put one over another and expect peace. It's not possible. Amhara in charge of the Oromo people, it doesn't work. If you know the history of this region, that doesn't not work. It's like you put in a ISIS or Muslim terrorist groups that were in Middle East. Imagine you put them in charge of the American police, or you put them in charge of the Ethiopian police. They're gonna do what they do.